WW7 testing.
W7ATS checking in.
Way, this is James, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue.
Good evening, James.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That'll take you to our homepage. There you'll find a little information about the club, the frequencies we transmit on, and a link to YouTube where we stream our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a specific tone of 103.5 for Cougar Mountain. So with the ID out, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact on the 08 machine before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Hearing none, we'll get the net underway for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Checked in via video link already is Ron, KD7QKU, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, James, WU7N, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is anybody else wish to check into the net this evening? Hearing none, Ron, you're it. First up on the tag.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dave, KD7ZYM. This is KD7QKU. Well, let's see, we were talking a little bit before the net. I had my doctor's appointment on Wednesday. My ophthalmologist, as you know, I've had cataract surgery and it didn't go, and a stent put in for my glaucoma, and it didn't go perfectly well. But anyway, it's okay now. He said I'm out of the woods, I don't have to come back for a month. And the last time they checked my vision on the eye chart, they said I had 20/20 vision in my eye. So, and I drove home the other night, Sunday night, I guess it was, from my Monday night, I guess it was, Seahawks game from my brother-in-law's, and it was raining. Oh my goodness, I could actually see. It was heavenly. So anyway, it sure was nice to be able to see much better at night again. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn it back to net, KD7QKU.
QKU, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Well, hey, that's good news, Ron, about your eye, and we're all happy that you can see better driving. Good for you. Let's see, what have I done this week? Well, I found a new use for my sous vide that I'm surprised I haven't seen anyone mention up to this point. I like to make my own yogurt, but I don't do it that often. And one of the things is when you're making it, you got to control the temperature pretty closely. Well, the sous vide is basically made exactly to do that job. Instead of putting your meat or whatever else you're going to be cooking, you put in a container, in my case a big Tupperware bowl container, with my milk and yogurt mixture, and have it set exactly to 115 degrees, and it came out perfect this morning. I did it last night and checked it this morning, and it's perfect. And so I'll be doing that a lot more often, I think, now that I have a nice, easy, foolproof way to do that, that's me with cooking, easy and foolproof. That's what I need. I am not the most skilled cook out there. So, but yeah, that was pretty good. We put off our first in-person gaming that was going to happen last Friday night because one of the people was coming down with something. But we're going to this Friday night, so it'll be nice to have people back in person again. I'm also, I joined a meetup for role-playing games in Bothell, so kind of just another group to maybe play role-playing games with, but it's not really taking off yet, so I don't know if that's going to work or not, but we'll see. We'll see. It's close to my house. The person who's hosting it is very close to my house, about 5 minutes away, so that would be nice. Okay, I'll send it back to Ned, K9PQ.
PQ, thanks for that, Bob. Let's move on down to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Oh, hi. Good evening, everybody. Good to see you guys all. So anyway, yeah, beautiful afternoon. I made it over to the gym as well and straightened the house out a little bit while the YL was out doing her bookkeeping business. Anyway, I don't have much to report other than my sheer joy and excitement during and at the end and a day or two after the Monday Night Football game. I just love it when the Seattle Seahawks do really good on national television, where pretty much the whole world is watching them. And in particular, when we display probably one of the best rookie acquisitions maybe in the whole league, and the man's name is Devon Witherspoon, and the national sportscasters could not quit talking about him, and they still are even right now. I mean, this was a man that just really kind of took over the game in a lot of respects. Scored a touchdown. Well, he scored a touchdown by stealing a catch and running for 97 yards, and nobody tackled him. And he's just a new kid on the block. So, and not only that, I think he had something like tackled 7 times, and then got the other quarterback nailed behind the lines a couple times. He was just phenomenal. So anyway, I enjoyed watching the reaction after the game on YouTube and the last night or two. So anyway, that's the excitement from here. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's go to Tacoma to Wade, W7ITL.
W7ATS. Let's see if I can get my video going here. All right, we got a good video tonight. So let's see. Ron, glad your eyes are getting better and that you have 20/20 vision for the doc. Bob, it's neat to learn new things you can do with your stuff. The civi, making yogurt, that's cool. I've never made yogurt in the civi. I don't have one. I've never used one, but one of these days we'll get one. Let's see, and then role-playing games. Sounds like you're getting into a new club, and it's near your house. That's great. All right, Richard, let's see. You have to clean the house a little bit while the whale's out, and enjoyed the football game on Monday. That's good. Yeah, I'm glad the Seahawks are doing good. Let's see, and then me. So I just got back from San Diego. Went to see a concert. Went to Foreigner. This is their farewell tour, and we also got a chance to meet with family while I was out there, and went to a few beaches. Went to Coronado Island. visited Mission Beach, so pretty cool. We're going to a concert tomorrow, so I'll talk more about that maybe in the next round. W7ITL, back to net.
WW7ATS, thanks for that coming to the net this evening. Now let's go on to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, let's see, what's going on here? Paperwork, doing stuff around the house. I've got a furnace problem. Looks like I need a new gas valve. I shopped around a little bit, and I could find one that will work, but it's more heavy duty than what I need. And it's like $630 or something like that. I should be able to find one closer to half that price, so I need to do some more shopping. Ron, your cataract is progressing well, doing good with the cataract surgery. You said that you were seeing 20/20, but I noticed you're wearing glasses. So explain that one, if you would please, when it's your turn. Let's see, Bob, making yogurt, man, that is, that sounds, okay, it sounds like you have it simplified, but I'll tell you what, it sounds like a whole lot more work than my wife would do, so good for you for doing that. I'm glad it sounds like it's working out. Dick, you sound well, and relatively speaking anyway, and Debbie sounds like she's doing better. Roger that about the Seahawks. I did see probably about half of that Monday night game. Yeah, it was a good performance from the Hawks, and the rookie there really was outstanding, and I heard the commentators talking about that as well. So that's great. Looks like we're doing something right there. Wade, good to see you. I know you've been so busy for a while, and then sometimes doing an occasional concert. Everyone's been traveling a little, well, I know you've been traveling a little bit, and we have a couple guys who are doing traveling around here. But good to see everyone. The picture on the 1.2 gigahertz looks reasonably good. I still have a lot of snow where I am, unfortunately. Bob, I'm not really sure what these rocks are. I'm guessing it's something in Ireland, because on my picture they look a little bit green. Not nearly as green as your background board, but anyway, if you would let us know where they are too. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
7QO, I'm getting ID, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. I'll pause for a little bit in case anybody else wants to join the net. Hearing none. Again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's go to James, WU7N in Bellevue.
James, WU7N here in Northeast Bellevue. Good to see you all tonight. Let's see, Ron, seeing while driving is good, but probably optional as long as you have a passenger that can scream hysterically and throw his arms up in front of his face at the right times. I think it's optional these days. My friend had a self-driving car that the software went nuts on him for a second, and his son made him sell it. So, I mean, you just can't win these days. Even if you turn it over to the computer, someone complains. let's see. Here is, okay, so I'm going to try and get this back up here. Sous vide, well, let's see. Stand by one. Here is a picture of a sous vide. And 99 cents. Okay? So the next one here, oops. Okay, so this one is $311. Now, I'll have to just, you know, they look the same to me, so I don't think I can't imagine there would be any difference between the $10 sous vide and the, you know, $311 sous vide. They look just exactly the same. So I'm going to assume they would be the same, and I'm sure that if you're buying a gas valve for a do-it-yourself repair, I'm sure there's no difference between the expensive one and the cheap one, just like there's no difference between the two sous vides. I'm sure that's the way it works, doesn't it? Everyone ponder that for a moment, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to our net control. Dave, this is WW7ATS.
WW7N, this is Dave, KD7CYM, Lake City. Oh my, what a gorgeous day, another one, and I understand it's going to even get warmer by the weekend, so if you put your air conditioners away, you might want to get them out for one more day. We could hit 80 degrees come the weekend. So anyway, here in Lake City, I've got 58 degrees, and let's see, go through Ron with his surgery. Boy, pretty great 2020 coming out. Bob with his yogurt maker with 150 degree thermostat on it. Why, can't go wrong with thermostats that set temperatures that are needed for making things to happen. And Richard, gym exercises, that's pretty good. And glad to hear you enjoyed the Seahawks game. And Wave, a concert in San Diego. Oh boy, it must have been a pretty good concert to have to go all the way down to San Diego to see, but I guess you got to go where the action is to enjoy that. And Jim, a gas valve, oh my gosh, seems like it's an awful high price for a gas valve, but I've never seen that before. And let's see, that's pretty much it. And let's see, for me, I had to go out and get a lottery ticket for Powerball today. And let's see, the national emergency event happened today. My cell phone went off for about 3 seconds to go beep. That was about it. I was expecting a large tone array, but it didn't happen. Oh my. So that's about it here in wonderful Lake City. So with that, I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Thank you, KD7QKU here again. Bob and his yogurt, so I'm sure that's unflavored yogurt, so you have to put some fruit or something in it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of yogurt, I guess. My wife seems to have it in the refrigerator all the time, and once in a while eat it. Wade went to the concert. I forget who he said it was, but he did say something, and it sounds like he had a pretty good time after the concert or before the concert. Sounds like Richard's doing okay. James is doing okay. I guess I'm doing okay. So I have a ventilation system in the house. There's vents in the ceilings, and I talked to some of the neighbors. They have the same thing. Well, I didn't think mine worked, so I called an electrician. He came over, and first thing he did is when he opened the crawl space door in the garage in the ceiling and put the ladder up, he motioned for me to come over, and you could look straight up through the peak of the roof and see the sky. So I have a metal strip that's on the top of the roof that ventilates it, and apparently it had come loose and shifted over. And so he says, can you go up on the roof? And I said, well, I really can't. No, I shouldn't. says, well, I don't really like to, but I'll get your extension ladder. Do you have a rope? So we tied the rope to the railing on the front door, steps, and then threw it over the garage roof, and then he climbed up with his drill and some screws and put it back in place. And so got that fixed. And so then he starts up in the attic, and he'd taken some pictures and everything, and then apparently that ventilation system hasn't worked for a long time, and somebody cut all the flexible tubes that went to it and tried to duct tape them up and everything. He said, what a mess. And there was a switch on it that set off, and it was in the off position, and so then I turned the switch on downstairs on the wall on, and it didn't run. So anyway, so then he came down and showed me a picture of a hornet's nest. There was a pretty good sized hornet's nest. He said he didn't want to go up again until I got that taken care of, so I had to call the exterminator. He came over yesterday and taken care of it. So let me let it drop. Wants to do well. Then he said, does your vents in your bathrooms work? I said, well, it makes a noise like the fan's running, but I don't think they work very well. So he said, okay, well, get a paper towel, and he got his ladder. We turned it on, and he held the paper towel up there. He said, normally it'll suck the paper towel up. No suction at all in either one of our bathrooms. So whenever they disable up in the attic, they disable those systems too. So he said, I think the best thing to do is just forget about that system. It was put in 1985 and nobody knows anything about it. I'm just going to I would suggest we put 2 new vents in your bathroom, and I'll just vent them out through the end of the house like, they're always there. So you'll have 2 good vents in your bathroom. And then he said, I can put in the hallway where that vent is in the attic, in the ceiling, he said, I'll put a fan in there, and we can put it on a control, and it can I can put it on a programmable control where it'll come on every now and then, or you can turn it on, and then I'll just run, vent that out through there is a thing on the end of the house apparently where that was vented. So that's what he's going to do. And so I got rid of the hornets. He's coming tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. So back to that, KD7QK.
Oh my. Thanks, Ron, KD7QKU. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ, Bothell.
Is showing me with a green background instead of my normal background. Oh well, I guess I've got a green background. Don't know what happened. Well, let's see some comments. Yeah, the Seahawks game, that was really impressive. I mean, the caveat is that the Giants, their offensive line is beat up badly and is not very good. And so, but still, we look great, and yeah, Devin Witherspoon looks just fantastic. I think he's going to be a good player for us for a long time. Jim, yeah, that is the Cliffs of Moher in Ireland. Yeah, they're kind of dark even in the regular picture, so I can see they wouldn't come through if it was a little bit fuzzy. Self-driving cars, yeah, for a few months, I guess, I was pretty enamored with the idea of self-driving cars and thought as soon as they've got one that looks like it's working properly, I'll get one. I'm not so sure anymore. I don't really trust them. There's just too many things that can go wrong. There's too many things that our brain can handle in a very sort of fuzzy way that even AI is not up to the task yet, in my opinion. Just too many ways things can go wrong driving. And yeah, the national test, I was sleeping and intentionally turned off my phone so I wouldn't get that tone, because apparently that's the only way you avoid getting it, and I successfully avoided it. Finally, yeah, the sous vide for the yogurt. I've tried making yogurt a few times over the years, several times over the years, with different techniques, and I kept getting a little bit better, but this one is sort of the ultimate as far as I'm concerned, because it's easy, and you know, you can set that temperature perfectly with the sous vide cooker. And yeah, James, I think your $10 for the one. The first picture was for the container, the plastic container that the sous vide machine is in, not for the sous. They do have wildly different prices. Mine was about $80 maybe, so $80 to $100 I think is sort of typical for I wouldn't say low end, but for a base model, let's say. And also the one, I think it was called Innova. They were one of the first, and they're sort of the high end of all of that stuff, so there's always a premium on their name. But that's also got to be a high-end model of theirs, which who knows why you even need that. Mine already does more than I need it to do. I just needed to set it to a temperature, turn it on, and turn it off when I'm done, and then that's good for me. Okay, I guess that's good for now. Oh, Ron, good getting the Hornets out of there. And getting the vents taken care of. I didn't quite understand the hallway vent. It sounded like it was a vent going out. First I thought you were talking about these were furnace vents, but it sounds like these are exhaust vents. So good to have that stuff all taken care of. Okay, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
N7KC.
N7KC in Port Angeles has joined the net. Lee, you want to take the mic?
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, my goodness. I thought something bad had happened. It was me. Well, good evening, all. I'm late. I just stopped by to say hello and all that. Lee here in 7KC in Port Angeles. I had some work done on my left eye to correct a problem that happened when I had my cataract surgery in the left eye. So I'm on the mend now. But I've got some big floaters. They're moving. I've never ever in my life had a floater, but I got a whopper right now. Anyway, just wanted to say howdy, and I didn't even start the timer, Dave. I'm going to send it back to you here and just enjoy the net. So this is N7KC Lee in Port Angeles. Back to you, Dave.
KC, thanks for that. And get an idea out here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Wow, that's pretty interesting, Lee, that you've never had floaters before. I remember having floaters when I was just a teenager, you know. I mean, just kind of looking up at the sky on a nice sunny day, sunbathing, and I go, you know, they look like paramecium, you know, little microbes swimming around, but you know, they come and go, and I can't say that I've seen any lately. But then maybe I'm not seeing too good anyway. Hard to say. And then Ron, yeah, this vent situation. You know, when we bought our house, it's about 27 years old, and it's in the code actually, and it probably still is. All new houses are supposed to be have some kind of venting to the exterior, and it's supposed to be automatically controlled, and so so we had a timer. Our house had a timer, and it would just turn on a bathroom vent periodically throughout the day, until I disabled it. It got ridiculous after a while. My house has so many leaks already anyway. It's just self-venting without having to have a motor. I mean, I thought this is stupid, you know. So, and you know, it makes noise, and I mean, it just didn't pan out. Hornets, yes, I've had 2 hornets nests in my attic. Luckily, when I was much younger, as basically, you know, 25 years ago or 26 years ago, just after I'd moved in, and one nest I could get at from the outside, and it was I scared the neighbor lady because, you know, I had to go up, climb 2 stories up a ladder to get to the little hole in the attic, and then the other nest was. Well, no, I was way too high, and I attacked it at night from the inside of the attic. So when it was cold enough, but you know, like I say, you know, 25 years ago, yeah, I was a lot more limber, but. First hornet's nest that I attacked from the outside. I used hornet spray, and I plugged up the hole with some kind of styrene foam and that sort of thing. And I thought I had done, well, I was sure I'd done a really good job, except, you know, there's always 1 or 2, I guess, that survive to the point where, and this is a pop-out part of the house, it's a feature on the upstairs level out of the master bath, and so one morning, my daughter's taking a shower, and the one bee that survived, the one hornet that survived, figured out how to squeeze between the fiberglass shell of the shower stall and the shower duty ring, and got squeezed out and started flying around in the shower stall. So I never heard the end of that. I mean, you know, I'm a do-it-yourself guy, but I don't know about do-it-yourself on my gas furnace. Now, that's pretty, I'm pretty impressed that you're working on your own furnace. In fact, maybe next time I should call you instead of Eastside Heating. And that goes to Cummington Jim. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's go to Wade, W7ATS in Tacoma.
7ATS, this is Wade here in Tacoma. Let's see if I can get my video working. Oh, there we go. Alright, well, so let's make a few comments. So Ron, yeah, that's not a fan of yogurt. Ventilation systems, that's a bummer that all that ventilation system was all ripped up. I'm just guessing that was time that caused all that. Maybe the vinyl just deteriorated. Sounds like they're going to get a couple new vents though, that's good. Hornet's nets, those are never good. Had one for the house this summer, and luckily it was on the outside. It was attached to a window screen. The little buggers ate through the screen and actually were between the glass and the screen, so we had to keep the window closed while they were exterminating it. Let's see. Lee, I'm glad your eyes are getting better, it sounds like. I didn't catch the first part, what you said, just about you had floaters now and you've never had those. I could say I've had floaters for quite a while now, maybe 20 years. You only see one in the bright light, though. Let's see. Yeah, and so, yep, I'm going to another concert tomorrow. I was going to go to one tonight, but I was too tired, so that one was going to be a free one that a friend had given me a ticket, but they couldn't come with me, so I was like, nah, I don't want to go. I'll just stay at home tonight. Tomorrow we're going to go see ZZ Top, and then next week we're going to go see Allison in Chains. Yeah, it's definitely, we have a lot of different concerts lined up over the next few months. Yeah, I have to keep straight with the schedule because I don't remember when we were going. My wife just said, hey, we're going to another concert. Let's see, I'm gonna break for just a second. you find that part at a cheaper price, and yeah, be careful when you work on furnaces. It sounds like you're going to trade it yourself. If not, maybe you're getting somebody to help. I didn't catch that part. And then Jane's self-driving cars, I don't know, maybe. I would trust them. I think I would prefer to have the option where I didn't have to keep my hands on the steering wheel, but maybe just kind of be nearby and not focused on the road, because there's been so many reports I've heard of people that have had malfunctioning self-driving induced accidents, and I don't know if we're going to see that anytime soon, where they're good enough to completely just detach from driving and just do it something else. Yeah, Powerball purchase, Dave. Hopefully you win. Yeah, an emergency alert from FEMA today. That about shot me through the roof. I forgot that it was happening today, and I was in a meeting, and I had to mute myself because it was so loud. Yeah. That's that for this round. Yeah, if I don't hear from you guys by the next time, I say 73. Everybody have a good night. W7ITL, back to net.
ITL, thanks for joining the net this evening. Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, different prices for things that look the same. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. A lot of the things probably really are the same, but someone feels they maybe can get a little more than they ought to out of it. I don't know. Having said that, it looks like some of the gas valves are in short supply nowadays. The one that I was looking at that I found is much more capable than what I need. It'll handle more than double the BTUs that I need. So I still need to do some shopping around. Ron, yogurt. Yeah, problem with that, I need I need to eat like about a quart of that stuff in order to feel satisfied. And I don't really like plain yogurt, but if you put enough fruit in it, it sure makes it better. Sounds like you made good progress with the house ventilation and with your roof and with the hornets. So that's good. Bob, thanks for mentioning about those cliffs. Yeah, that looks rugged, looks kind of cool. Self-driving cars, yeah, I'm kind of waiting for a self-driving RV, and that way, when I'm tooling down the highway, I can turn on the autopilot and go in the back and put on a pot of coffee while it's taking me down the road. Happens there. I might not live long enough to see that happen, though. Sorry about eye problems. Floaters are new. Wow. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. Dick, floaters. I don't know. If I looked up and saw floaters, I might wonder if they're UAPs or something, or formerly known as UFOs. I don't know. I wish I had a better idea of what floaters are like, but that's about the best I can say. And yeah, sounds like former owner of your house there, Ron, also did not like their house ventilation system. So they probably disabled it, kind of like Dick's there. And I don't know, the furnace problems, well, some problems are pretty simple, some are not. My father was a licensed plumber and a licensed electrician, and also a diesel mechanic. And when I was younger, I helped him a lot with the plumbing and electrical stuff. But I decided that I was going to go a different route. Didn't work on any diesel engines, but we certainly worked on a lot of cars as well. Wade, ZZ Top, that sounds cool. One of the brothers died. I hope they sound the same. Yeah, the emergency test, yeah. My phone went off, and it was a truly different sound, kind of bizarre. I'm glad I didn't pee myself when that happened. But anyway, I found out about it once I read what was on the phone. So all was well, and all was dry, just not almost. But anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
Get another ID in here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. I'll pause momentarily in case anybody wants to join in the net. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to James, WW7N in Bellevue.
I got 7N.
James, this is K9PQ. You're kind of broken. You started out, you weren't there at all, and now you're coming in and out. K9PQ.
I just need to speak up a little bit. WU7N here. I too got the emergency alert tone, and I also got a whole bunch of emails saying it was coming. But I have to admit, the noise was so loud and so obnoxious, it actually startled me, even though I knew it was happening. So they definitely have an attention getter there. But I think it's the same tone as the Amber Alerts. They want everybody to know, who's been kidnapped or whatever. So I guess it's definitely designed to get your attention. Well, anyway, I did a lot of yogurt back 2006 through 2008 because I had a GI tract problem, and it was only one of the few things I could eat, so I learned how to make it myself. I didn't even know about the sous vide thing, because how I did it is I have a pan that's actually designed to get hot enough you can cook bacon in it, but I found I could turn it way down to warm and have the water in it, and then I put actually a Pyrex bread pan on a couple of chopsticks and covered it with saran wrap. And I found that worked very well. I don't remember what the temperatures were, but I remember you had to bring the milk to a certain temperature to sterilize it, and then dump it into the pan and add the Puget Sound Whole Foods bugs to it. And then, let it sit. I would let it sit for like a day or something, and then, I would be so hungry I would eat the whole thing. Pleased that it made a really thick yogurt, and you could use whole milk and or whatever kind of milk you wanted, and it would always seem to come out quite well. But maybe that was because my bug count was so high in it. So anyway, that's how I did it. And one or two survivors, Richard. Yes, that's always the way history plays out, isn't it? Always one or two to tell the tale. I remember there were ball hornets in Texas, and some guy did everything wrong when he tried to eradicate the nest, And, you know, don't tell me insects can't tell the difference, because the kids could play in the yard and they wouldn't bother the kids. And he would walk out to do the lawn. They would come, the survivors would come clear across from under where they were hiding in the eaves and come and get him. So I just thought that was amazing that they somehow knew that he was the one, and the survivors, you know, I mean, the queen's gone, but yeah, we're going to get even here. That's our new career. I always thought that was fascinating. And yeah, the self-driving cars where you have to keep your hands on the wheel, there was actually some Amazon internet store that was selling wheel clips, and their reason was something how this was supposed to give you a better grip on the wheel, but everybody knew what it really was is to fool the computer into thinking your hands were still on the wheel. And I thought, wow, that's like, you know, putting. I heard a story when I was a kid about an engineer who was this incredible alcoholic. They had a dead man switch where he had to keep his foot constantly on the switch or the train would stop, right? So he figured out a way to wedge his thermos down on the switch and keep the switch down all the time on his foot chair. You had to sit in the chair and push this thing with your foot. He figured out how to jam the thermos in there to keep it going all the time. That's always made me stop at railroad crossings for quite a long time and look both ways very carefully. I figured he wasn't the only one that figured out how to do that. Concert, my goodness, it's hard to imagine that it's a farewell concert for Foreigner. Head Games, Cold as Ice, Jukebox Hero, Feels Like the First Time, I Want to Know What Love Is. Wow, those are not... It's weird when you look at these things on YouTube and you see these people and see what they look like today. I don't know why I'm so shocked. We all look a lot different than we did 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, but it always, you know, takes you aback. But I'm glad you were able to see their farewell tour, even though it's hard for me to imagine it's farewell to Foreigner. This is James, WW7ATS, so let me turn it back to Dave, our net control.
WU7N, thanks for that. Well, my gosh, when it comes to lotteries, I always look at not buying a winning ticket, but it's my contribution to the pool. So anyway, there's probably 1 in a billion chance that you'll get something out of it. But let's see, self-driving cars. This summer I was down in Arizona, and I was driving along about 4 miles with a self-driving car alongside, and it was kind of interesting. There was a little thing up on the top of the car that was spinning around. I don't know what it was doing, but then it had a whole bunch of sensors everywhere else on the car. It kind of looked like a spaceship from outer space. It was going down the highway, and I don't know, my theory was, after having a few computer problems with electronics, I'm kind of concerned about what could go wrong with all of these sensors on a self-driving car without a person behind it. And this car didn't have a driver at all in it. It was en route somewhere, but I don't know where it turned off about a mile from where I was at following it. And so it was on its way to somewhere by itself. But I can see it would be very wise to have a driver behind the wheel or somebody that can grab the wheel in case of an emergency when the electronics go south. But anyway, that was kind of interesting to being able to observe that. And this is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. So let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay, KD7QKU here. I don't have too much more. When we started to go to the football game on Monday night, we jumped in the car, and the game, I think, started at 5:15. We're going to go over to my sister-in-law's and have dinner and watch the game with some other folks. Joanne, when we pulled out on the main road here, Joanne said, "Oh, by the way, the light came on in the car and said it was low on oil." I go, "Holy smokes, you know, it's a 2019 car. It only has 22,000 miles on it. And I haven't checked the oil in it very many times, but I haven't had a car that burned oil or leaked oil. It seemed like forever. So I said, well, when did this happen? Oh, a day or so ago. So I immediately turned around and brought the car back home and put it in the garage, and we got the pickup, taken the pickup. So the next day I checked the oil in the car. Well, it was down a little bit, but it wasn't, down to the add oil mark. So I think what she saw was it probably told her that we needed to change the oil. That's what I think happened. So our other car always would tell us, and the pickup, whenever you need to change the oil, they tell me, it must count the mileage, and then when you get to a certain mileage, it tells you. So I made an appointment to take the car in. I can take it in Wednesday and have the oil changed in it. It's been over a year, so it definitely needs oil change. And I don't know. The little sticker that they put in the windshield, the mileage has faded out on it, or disappeared anyway, or blurred or something. I couldn't tell what the mileage was the last time we had the oil change. So I decided it was plenty of time that we needed to have new oil in the car. So let's see, I don't know what else is happening. I guess I'll just turn it back to that. Fun listening to everyone, fun seeing everyone. Oh, Jim, N7QO, are you looking on Amazon to try to find that valve? You could probably get one on Amazon if you haven't looked there. Back to that, KD7QKU.
7QKU. Let's go to Lee in 7KC in Port Angeles.
Okay, Lee here again in Port Angeles in 7KC. Well, I made it just in time. I clicked to see what the latest chat was, and when I hit the X, I must have hit the wrong X. Anyway, I lost my Zoom. I had to go back to the email and get the link and get back in. Just made it. Just in time. Time because, of course, I'm on Echo Link, which seems to be working quite nicely lately. Yeah, I haven't checked the numbers yet, but I'm sure this is the winning ticket tonight. Wouldn't that be something? Boy, talk about a change in lifestyle if you win something like that. I'm not telling anybody if I do. Of course, it'll be obvious, I don't have much else, to be honest. The floater, it's a big floater. Actually, I had laser surgery to remove the capsule behind the lens, the implant, because it got damaged during and then I had this terrific flare and any kind of bright light. It was a big flare that was rotated counterclockwise about 20 degrees, and it looked like maybe a pulsar, if you've seen what pulsars look like, that double searchlight beam kind of thing. That's what it looked like. And so they did 45 zaps of a laser back there, and what it did was it presumably, I'm sure it did, broke the back of the capsule loose. Then that becomes the floater. So it's a big piece of tissue that's supposed to go away in about 2 weeks. They say they always do. I hope. Here's hoping. Anyway, but so it was a big surprise. I just went in for a consultation, and at the end of the guy says, hey, we could, I had decided I'd have the work done. We can do you right now. He said, if you're ready to go. I says, well, okay. So I didn't have any time to think about it, and that was that. Took 2 minutes to do it. So anyway, $1,100. 2 minutes. That's all I got, Dave. N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles, back to you.
N7KC, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ in Bottle.
Okay, well, Well, since my green screen doesn't seem to be doing its job tonight for some reason, I switched over to the picture from Zoom. Well, I had a lot of notes, but not much time, so I'm gonna just pick and choose one or two. ZZ Top sounds like a fantastic concert to do, and I bet they haven't lost much with age. I bet that's a really good one. I had the same experience as Richard. I think I had like little hair, little like dust in the, that just gets in your eye. So you get that paramecium-looking thing when you look up at a clear blue sky. But it's definitely nothing like what you're dealing with, Lee. That's a much bigger deal. Well, I had a few other things, but I will just say 73 to everybody and send it back to Ned. K9PQ.
K9PQ, we got your 7-3. Thanks for joining the net this evening. Let's go on to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
So, last time I was talking about, last time around, about, getting hornet nests and stuff. I've been stung quite a bit, actually. I mean, I remember being stung, pruning my grandma's tree when I was a teenager, probably about, 20, 30 times. And, I didn't feel that great, that night, but, I don't know. I've just been stung a lot, and it's never, in fact, this bumblebees hurt, but the regular hornets, takes them 2 or 3 stabs before I feel it, actually. And boy, that worked against me one trip. I was, what was it? It was this, motocross event, Washougal, Washington, where, it's a national thing where thousands of people go, and international motorcycle drivers, it's pretty exciting. And so me and my buddy, we were really pumped up. We had my mom's RV, and God, we got there early. We had the pick of the litter of where to park in the big field. And so, okay. Well, trouble was there are these, it seemed like there were a lot of flies, and I had the windows open, and I thought, well, I won't worry about these guys. But they're like, horse flies where they can bite you. Except when I realized, they might be black, but these aren't flies, these are bees. And oh my God, I had 20 or 30 inside the RV, and it was just a nightmare. They attacked the hell out of me, and I eventually had to dress up like the Michelin Man to get him out of the RV. It was just those dang critters. Anyway, you can't live with them and you can't live without them. So anyway, I just that brought back. In fact, I kind of wished I forgot about that and didn't ever want to remember it again, because it did kind of ruin that evening. But I'll say one good thing: it kept me in the RV while the cops were running around. Everyone got busted except me, because I was in the RV at that night for having booze when you weren't supposed to. All right. Well, anyway, 73, everybody. It's been fun telling that story. K7ITX, back to net control.
ITX, and for a final, let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
W7ITL with my final. Lots of good stories. I'm just going to show a quick clip of my concert. No audio, but this is Foreigner. I think it's one of their last songs they were singing. It was a really good show. So with that, 73s, everybody.
W7ITL, thanks for that. And that has to come to a conclusion. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions with a tone of 103.5. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, signing off the net, this is Dave, KD7CYM at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.
KC disconnected.